So let's start with this issue of social bonds. There are a lot of organizations you were just mentioning that are strapped right now, normally do just fine as far as their brand name and recognition for what they do. But the way I understand it, you're going to be borrowing this money to give out to nonprofits, expecting to pay a 3 to 4% interest rate over time. Tell me why this is important to do. What's the worst case scenario of what could happen here with this borrowing and why it's not going to happen?
Well, we need to understand that in our country right now, our nonprofit sector is in a crisis. If you are a human services organization, more demands is being made on you. If you are an arts and culture organization, you're dealing with dark theaters, closed museums, earned revenue down. If you depend on fundraisers, there are no fundraisers taking place. Our nonprofits are in an existential crisis. And so we foundations must step up and we have to be bold and creative. For most of us, we live off of an endowment. And during times when the market is choppy or volatile, it's very difficult to take more out of that endowment to pay out in grants. And so we have come up with a plan, a mechanism made in part possible by the low interest rate environment we are in. So we will issue $1 billion of bonds, a social bond, the proceeds of which will be used to give away over the next 18 months to nonprofit organizations. And we are joined by the Mellon, MacArthur, Duke, and Kellogg Foundation. So between the 5 foundations, we will be giving an additional $1.7 billion in addition to the funds already approved by our boards for grant making.
Yeah, and those are all names that people are very familiar with that have quite a track record over time. I want to broaden out the lens for a moment because you and the Ford Foundation look at a broad variety of social and economic challenges around the world. You apply capital to try to have a measurable positive impact. Tell me how you assess the situation in the U.S. right now, the controversy around use of force in policing. What's the problem? And if you don't have a solution for it, how do you approach it?
Well, the larger challenge for America today in this moment is the challenge of race. I think the murder of George Floyd made deniability of racism in America no longer an option. And I think for many white Americans, what they witnessed was heartbreaking because I believe that most people in this country are not racist. Most police men and women, I don't believe, get up every day and say, I want to go and find a black man to shoot. But I do believe that they are part of a system that is imbued with a racist history that today delivers for us disparate outcomes based on race. So we have a situation in this country that we have finally come to a reckoning on, I believe, and that is our legacy of white supremacy, which is a difficult thing for us to talk about because for those of us who love this country, and I know that my journey would not have been possible in any other country but the United States. And my love for this country is unwavering, unbreakable. But it is my love of this country that makes me demand justice for all of us. Because at this time in America and throughout our history, we have never fully lived up to that idea of justice. America is not just a country. America is an idea that has mobilized and inspired and received the admiration of the world. And regrettably, we are losing that admiration. We are losing the adulation that the United States has glowed in over these many decades because of this idea of America.